Sent me. Het. God has resolved to destroy the walls of the daughter of Zion, stretching out the line, not staying his hand, until he has engulfed everything, thus bringing mourning on wall and rampart. Alike they crumbled. Tet. Her gates have sunk into the ground. He has broken and shattered their bars. Her king and her princes are among the Gentiles. There is no instruction. Furthermore, her prophets cannot find any vision from God. Yod. Mute they sit on the ground, the elders of the daughter of Zion. They have put dust on their heads and wrapped themselves in sackcloth. The young girls of Jerusalem bow their heads to the ground. Calf. My eyes are worn out with weeping. My inmost being is in ferment. My heart plummets at the destruction of my young people, as the children and babies grow faint in the streets of the city. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, return to the Lord your God. Lamed. They keep saying to their mothers, "Where is some food?" as they faint like wounded men in the streets of the city, as they breathe their last on their mothers' breasts. Men, to what can I compare or liken you, daughter of Jerusalem? Who can rescue and comfort you, young daughter of Zion? For huge as the sea is your ruin. Who can heal you? None. The visions your prophets had for you were deceptive whitewash. They did not lay bare your guilt so as to change your fortunes. The visions they told you were deceptive. Samek. All who pass your way clap their hands at the sight. They whistle and shake their heads over the daughter of Jerusalem. Is this the city they call perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole world? Jerusalem, Jerusalem, return to the Lord your God. Aleph. I am the man familiar with misery under the rod of his fury. He has led and guided me into darkness, not light. Against none but me does he turn his hand, again and again, all day. Bet. He has wasted my flesh and skin away, has broken my bones. He has besieged me and made hardship a circlet round my head. He has forced me to dwell where all is dark, like those long dead in their everlasting home. Gimel. He has walled me in so that I cannot escape. He has weighed me down with chains. Even when I shout for help, he shuts out my prayer. He has closed my way with blocks of stone. He has obstructed my paths. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, return to the Lord your God.
judge my life. Devise wicked plans against me, and seize me with violence.
Look, my servant will prosper, will grow great, will rise to great heights. As many people were aghast at him, he was so inhumanly disfigured that he no longer looked like a man. So many nations will be astonished, and kings will stay tight-lipped before him, seeing what had never been told them, learning what they had not heard before. Who has given credence to what we have heard, and who has seen in it a revelation of God's arm? Like a sapling, he grew up before him, like a root in arid ground. He had no form or charm to attract us, no beauty to win our hearts. He was despised, the lowest of men, a man of sorrows, familiar with suffering, one from whom, as it were, we averted our gaze, despised, for whom we had no regard. Yet ours were the sufferings he was bearing, our sorrows he was carrying, while we thought of him as someone being punished and struck with affliction by God, whereas he was being wounded for our rebellions, crushed because of our guilt. The punishment reconciling us fell on him, and we have been healed by his bruises. We had all gone astray like sheep, each taking her own way. And God brought the acts of rebellion of all of us to bear on him. Ill-treated and afflicted, he never opened his mouth. Like a lamb led to the slaughterhouse, like a sheep dumb before its shearers, he never opened his mouth. Forcibly, after sentence, he was taken. Which of his contemporaries was concerned at his having been cut off from the land of the living, at his having been struck dead for his people's rebellion? He was given a grave with the wicked, and his tomb is with the rich, although he had done no violence, had spoken no deceit. It was God's good pleasure to crush him with pain. If he gives his life as a sin offering, he will see his offspring and prolong his life. And through him, God's good pleasure will be done. After the ordeal he has endured, he will see the light and be content. By his knowledge, the upright one, my servant, will justify many by taking their guilt on himself. Hence, I shall give him a portion with the many, and he will share the booty with the mighty, for having exposed himself to death and for being counted as one of the rebellious, whereas he was bearing the sin of many and interceding for the rebellious.
God stooped down to me and heard my cry. The Most High drew me from the deadly pit, out from the miry clay. God set my feet upon a rock and made my footsteps firm. The Almighty placed a new song in my mouth. For every high priest chosen from among human beings is appointed to act on their behalf in relation to God, to offer gifts and sacrifices for sins. A high priest can deal gently with the ignorant and wayward, since a high priest is also beset with weakness. Because of this, high priests are bound to offer sacrifice for their own sins as well as for those of the people. And one does not take the honor upon oneself, but is called by God, just as Aaron was. So also Christ did not claim the exalted office of high priest, but was appointed to it by the one who said, "You are my child, today I have begotten you," as it said also in another place, "You are a priest forever, after the order of Melchizedek." While in the flesh, Jesus offered up prayers and supplications with loud cries and tears to the one who was able to save him from death. And Jesus was heard for his godly fear. Son though he was, Jesus learned obedience through suffering, and being made perfect, became the source of eternal salvation to all who obey him. Having been designated by God a high priest after the order of Melchizedek.
Are you able to drink the cup that I drink? What does it mean for us to drink the cup? To answer this question, we need some understanding of human suffering. All suffering may be the same, but all suffering is unique. There are, of course, paradigmatic experiences and descriptions of human suffering. Jesus' own suffering is as dramatic as it is salvific. But we also come face to face with human suffering, in particular others, whose whole lives seem shattered, whole identities broken, with loss after loss, in one physical or spiritual trauma and tragedy after another. We know of Simone Weil's dark identification of human pain that seems to break all boundaries of what a human being can bear. She differentiates this kind of suffering by naming it affliction. In its unique forms, this kind of suffering perhaps always includes an element of the experience of the absence of God, the sense of God forsakenness that overwhelmed Job and made Jesus cry out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" It is intrinsically important to share the pain, the suffering of Jesus, of one we love. But in this case, it also moves within and beyond this, where the cup of Jesus is the cup of suffering of all persons. If we are to drink this cup, we are to partake of the sufferings of everyone else. And if we are to do this, if we are to do more than look upon Jesus and others with pity, we must paradoxically know something of affliction within ourselves. Given the context and the nature of the final sufferings of Jesus, there can be little doubt that the centrally imaged form of suffering is, specifically, suffering that is the consequence of injustice. Here is the suffering that does not have to be, the suffering that results from violence and abuse, exploitation and oppression, human indifference, greed, desire for power, hatred, and abandonment. Here is the suffering that cries out for an end, not in death, but in change. The cup that Jesus drinks is first of all a cup of love, a cup of covenant that seals the promise of a God who drinks too of human suffering in order finally to transform it. The cup signifies the relationship between God and Jesus Christ, and in Jesus, the relationship between God and all human persons. And finally, the relationships among human persons held in the life of God. In other words, the meaning of the cup and the cross is that the relationship between God and humans is healed forever in and through Jesus Christ. A relationship holds, and now all relationships have the possibility of holding. Moved by love to alleviate pain, we can come to yearn for justice, and insofar as it is possible to us, we are moved to do deeds of justice, which for us are the deeds of love. Another image is closely related to the image of drinking the cup. It may seem counterintuitive to most of us, but it holds a further insight into suffering and love. It is the image of a crucified love. It is a love both commanded and modeled by Jesus Christ, and characterized in its highest degree, as no one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. If God is love, then our only freedom and hope are in God. Etty Hillesum, a young Jewish woman, found freedom within the death walls of a concentration camp by recognizing the human capacity to make an inner place for God to dwell. Hope, she indicates, is not asking God to do something for us, but us doing something for God, welcoming God into our lives. She writes, "Dear God, these are anxious times. Tonight, for the first time, I lay in the dark with burning eyes as scene after scene of human suffering passed before me. I shall promise you one thing, God, just one very small thing. I shall never burden my today with cares about tomorrow, although that takes some practice. Each day is sufficient unto itself. I shall try to help you, God, to stop my strength ebbing away, though I cannot vouch for it in advance. But one thing is becoming increasingly clear to me, that you cannot help us, that we help you to help ourselves. And that is all we can manage these days, and also all that really matters. That we safeguard that little of you, God, in ourselves, and perhaps in others as well. Alas, there doesn't seem to be much you, yourself, can do about our circumstances, about our lives. Neither do I hold you responsible. You cannot help us, but we must help you and defend your dwelling place inside us to the last. Love lies in persons, not ideas. Love is not a concept, but a powerful, transforming energy that heals, reconciles, unites, and makes whole lives. Love draws together, heart to heart, center to center. Love is not what God does. Love is what God is. Love is the godness of God. That is why the cross is significant, not as a mystical object of devotion, but as a theological center. It is the most revealing statement about God. We must know ourselves as loved and as being in love. In this love is our freedom, our hope, our zest for life. To make a place for God within is to enter into the heart, to let go in that inner space where God lives and evolve a greater unity in love. God is born from within when we come to know ourselves in the divine love that lives deep within us. There, too, we discover that we are not strangers in this evolving universe. We are its future.
from the root of Jesse's line. For thus God's holy ones in days of old announced the promised one would come. Yes, our God keeps faith with us forever, never forgetting the covenant of gracious love. A solemn oath was sworn to Sarah and Abraham, that we should be set free from every fear. We have been sworn to worship God with peaceful hearts, in holiness and justice all our days. And you, little child, shall go before the Christ, a voice that cries, prepare the way for God. And heralds gospel news to longing hearts, the promised one of God is near at hand. For in the tender compassion of our loving God, the sun of justice shall rise in the eastern skies, to shine on all who dwell in dark despair, and guide us all into the paths of peace. Over his head they hung their accusation, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews.
Christ,
For our sake became obedient to death, even to death on a